Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Not Content Podcast. My name is Jerome Cuson. We are ending our discussion of the mockumentary genre with a conversation on For Your Consideration, another Christopher Guest movie celebrating its 20th anniversary, and a fitting tribute to the lovely Catherine O'Hara as well. My co host, as always, is Brian, and you can leave a 4 or 5 star review on Apple and Spotify to get those algorithms going. Click the bell icon on YouTube for notifications. Don't forget to subscribe as well. That is it for that. So let's talk about For Your Consideration, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary. Directed by Christopher Guest, co-written by Guest and Eugene Levy, who stars in the movie. This is an inside look at Hollywood in so many ways. There are lots of Jewish references and jokes, of course, because it's Hollywood, and it's so funny to me that Catherine O'Hara does this movie 20 years ago, and basically the last thing that she does is the studio, right? Which in a lot of ways is it is not a mockumentary, but it very much is in the same vein in terms of style and in terms of, I mean, the studio is probably even more acidic than this movie. But obviously going for a very similar tone to compared to a lot of other Christopher Guest movies. Try to have a little bit more bite, but I think that's ultimately why it is not as successful of a movie as some of his other ones. What say you?
Well, little background on this. I saw this in theaters in 2006. I was really excited for it because, Spinal Tap, Mighty Wind was a great experience when I saw that in theaters a couple years earlier. Really excited to see this. And then you watch it and you see where the characters kind of turn and kind of go for and kind of leaving their kind of humble morals behind in terms of future Oscar gold, and where it kind of leads them and their characters, and they kind of sell their souls at the end, and that's kind of it's a sad ending. It's a really dark ending to me. And it may not seem like dark to some people, but the fact that Catherine O'Hara's character goes through so much cosmetic surgery because she thinks that she's on this like second run in her
And
career.
boy, howdy, is that fitting given what I saw at the Oscars. And like, it's not even just plastic surgery; it's the Ozempic and all that stuff too.
Yep, and it's kind of that Hollywood metaphor of selling out, right? And she doesn't get nominated; she gets forgotten immediately, and she ends up like being a teacher to some young actors, and I think the young actors are actually better than her at the end of the movie. So that's kind of the dark turn of this, and then some similar stuff happens to Parker Posey's character, who also gets the nomination rumor bug, and Harry Shearer, and he gets new teeth. Like, so everyone kind of that gets the rumor bug of the nomination sells their soul out pretty much. Other than maybe like the director, who seems to be in his own world, which is played by Christopher Guest. Um,
I mean, I don't
th-
know if there's a place for him to sell out because he's so profoundly weird.
um, so I don't know who he's trying to be. Maybe a little bit of Rob Reiner, a little bit, but maybe definitely I don't know. Maybe a little bit of Stanley Kubrick, because like the way this dude
That's
directs.
that's what I was thinking. He was going for that genre of director, the big mystery. I think
Like,
that's
I'm not
I
going to
think
tell my actors what I want out of them. I just want them to know that I want something out of them, right? Like, come on.
that's
I hate it when directors
yes.
do that. Just give specific emotional cues, or tell me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess Nolan does it well, where he tells you, like, he cuts and then he says the stakes are higher. Go. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good director, right? To kind of tell you the level of everything. But this guy's just telling you, like, hey, you're here. So just say it. Just say the line. This is paper. Where everything's on paper. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they even like confront him about it. Like, Michael Begin is the writer, and Bob Aladan again, as the writers, and they approach him and like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just follow the script? And like, no, I'm just trying to get them motivated, you know? It's just like they asked you direct questions about the character and you just didn't know what to say. Like, what are you doing? So I thought that was like really like probably the funniest parts of the movie is that, and the Catherine O'Hara stuff, and probably some of the Harry Shearer stuff, but it's not as like hysterical as like Spinal Tap was. Not as many laughs as Mighty Wind, or Best in Show, but it does have that inside baseball feel. And the weird thing is that technically this is a mockumentary because there are scenes of interviews at the beginning, through the veil, I guess, of like a local news reporter or something. But there's no actual like um, sit down interview part like in a mockumentary, right? Like a direct one-on-one interview. There's none of that.
which was very odd to me. Like
Yeah,
I
the
just, it was
confessional. It's called the
weird.
confessional, I guess they call it in reality TV terms, but it's basically the the one-on-one, and it's not in this, so it's kind of weird. So like, where's this camera, right? Because I keep questioning, like, so if this is not a mockumentary technically, even though it is, who's moving the camera around? And then you get to have these questions like, oh, is this like Monday Night Raw and the Attitude Era where there was the camera in the back and no one asked who the fuck's holding the camera? Kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? And then they kind of brought that to Monday Nitro and made it even worse. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was just kind of weird. And then I don't know. Some of the TV segments were kind of off. Like it's feel like there's some missing like see or like some jump cuts or something. Um, but other than that, like I think technically it was still fine because you see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff of like camera work, set pieces, makeup chairs, all that kind of thing. So that was cool. Um, but it's just kind of weird
I think
because
this is a
there's nothing to
topic
root
that's
for.
it's way too big. I think I think that what made A Mighty Wind and Best in Show success, because I would say those are his two most successful movies, is that they were covering something very, very specific, and that's what made them work. And lampooning Hollywood, there's so many things about Hollywood that you can lampoon that ultimately I think that's why it doesn't work. I think that's how we end up with something that just doesn't feel like it's as part of the genre like the others. But I do want to point out that Catherine O'Hara ironically did win some awards for this, and I guess there was some thinking that she might get nominated. Of course, she did not, which is very fitting. Like that's almost funnier. That her not getting nominated is almost funnier than the movie itself.
See, that was the only thing that I got out of that when the nominations, quote unquote, came out that next whatever cycle, and she wasn't on the list. Then for your consideration, really didn't get nominated. I was like, so I guess it was on par with what the movie was, like where it's like not
Right.
exactly up to Oscar caliber, but I guess that was the goal or something. And again, like a low budget drama movie, right? And the actual budget of the movie was like 2 million or something. And I guess I was part of the $6 million gross, apparently domestic. So there you go. But yeah, just
Yeah.
but that's part of the thing is like these movies are never domestically successful. Except maybe Mighty Wind was, but because that was more word of mouth, I think. Because I think I was like recommending that to people actually like weeks after, not for your consideration, but you know what I mean. Like this didn't have that leg to it, and it didn't have the Oscar flair to it. Best in Show had more of that flair to it. So you know what I mean. It just didn't hit, and Christopher Guest was just kind of too wrapped up, I guess, in his own head, and that was reflective in the movie or something. So it's very weird, like a very self-reflexive
It's
movie.
certainly possible. You know, like you just, I mean, you don't know. I mean, because the thing is like this movie has all of the same people. It has a lot of it has, Eugene Levy as the co-writer. It has all of these different things. I don't know. It's like, are they getting something like, are they getting their own frustrations out because of what their careers have been, and their journey through Hollywood is like, are they trying to get some of that out? But
So okay, so the other thing is that there's this. It starts with a rumor from what the prop guy or something like that, where he says like,
yeah,
was there even a rumor to begin with? I'm trying to think because like no one had. I mean, see the thing is they have access to the internet, but they're all old and don't know how to use it because it's not a handheld thing back then, right? So it's like, do you know how to use that internet thing? Is like, you mean the one with the computer and the email? Like they were making jokes like that, like archaic type jokes about the internet that you would hear in that era. So I kept thinking, like, did this really actually occur? Was this guy's being super nice to Catherine O'Hara that day on set? It just made up that lie and it just spread like wildfire, kind of thing, which is entirely possible, right? Because there's some of these
it
movies that
is.
do get
Yes,
these
you're
rumors.
absolutely right.
Some of these rumors get started like okay, so prime example, Public Enemies, right, with Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. That was gonna be a big hot Oscar movie. Everyone thought it was gonna be. Turns out it was just a good
There's
special effects
almost
movie.
there's almost an entire genre of movies that people thought would be Oscar contenders and weren't. Like that
That's
is
what I'm saying. Like
definitely,
this is like in that kind of like
yes, it
area,
is. Like
and
it's funny, like it actually ended up being the very thing that it was parodying.
so that's what I'm thinking. Like, did Christopher Guest design this movie to not be too good? Right? Like, I don't. It's so weird because especially the way he portrays this
What
director
levels
on
are we
screen.
talking about here, right? That's what we're
Yeah,
thinking about
and then
is
you look at Michael McKean or Michael McKenna or is it Michael McKenna whatever
Michael McKean. Michael McKean.
McKean, and he's just whatever. He's just chilling in the back, and he's such a talented guy, and he's just kind of chilling in the back of this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he can do so much more, right? And then some other players get some more screen time. I think Jane Lynch got less than the previous movie, and I thought that was a mistake because they made her into this like TV show, Hollywood Access type character, and that didn't really. She looked more scary than anything in this movie, right? The way she was like propping up her shoulders and shit, like that was very specifically done, like in her character to stand that way. But, and then Fred Willard's weird haircut, like as if he's like Ryan Seacrest, but like 20 years older, right? And even Ryan Seacrest in
Yeah,
today's age looks better than he did at Fred Willard's age. So it's just so weird. But I get what they were trying to do,
I'm
right?
gonna disagree with you. If you've seen Ryan Seacrest lately, I would actually not agree with that.
Um,
I'll
maybe
let,
I.
that is a whole other subject that I don't want
That's
to
a
get into.
whole other subject that's subjective, but I guess comparing Fred Willard and Ryan Seacrest at the same age is at the same age. I don't know. I guess that's a subject for another day, but I would go with Ryan
I mean,
Seacrest.
this. Here's what I'll say about this movie. I think that it is very fitting that we ended with this movie because like this has been a pseudo tribute to Catherine O Hara. This is a really good showcase for her. She is the best part of this movie. I think her performance is really good. Maybe she should have gotten nominated for an Academy Award for this, especially in the supporting actor um,
It's just
category.
hard. Like we don't have it in front of us right now, but I don't think we're gonna pull it up. But you know what I
I
mean?
am
Like,
going to actually pull it up.
okay, well, I'll stall for time. But I think at the time, I'm trying to remember. I think Walk the Line. Oh no, Walk the Line was '05. So if this was '06, it would have competed against Walk the Line because I think Walk the Line had Reese Witherspoon as like the lead favorite, and she won. Um,
All right, so we are looking at the 2007
2007.
Academy Awards because those are the movies for 2006. All right, these are your nominees. We are talking about Jennifer Hudson, who won for Dreamgirls. You have Adriana Barraza from Babel as Amelia Hernandez. You have Kate Blanchett. You have Abigail Breslin from Little Miss Sunshine. And you have Rinko Kikuchi also from Babel. Um,
Probably Little Miss Sunshine is the one that would swap out.
no,
Maybe
I
that's the
mean,
one. Maybe
Babel sucks.
I've never seen Babel, but
I
that's the
I
movie that
have
I
a
think I
hard
rented
time.
like three times and never got to it.
Alejandro Inarritu is somebody that I have a very hard time with.
Um,
He's a
I
lot.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think when he's focused and has a good script,
I like
aka
Birdman a
The
lot,
Revenant,
but his other like The Revenant is a movie that I it's not
it's a one-time experience, folks. Don't let them sour it on you. But if you haven't seen it, watch
I can
it.
imagine it being a great theatrical experience, but
It was. That's for sure. That was
Leonardo was
exhilarating,
real desperate for an Oscar.
and
If
they
he
went.
makes that movie 10 years later, I don't know that he actually gets the Oscar for it because I feel like Timothy Chalamet was really horny for the Oscar this year and did not get it, partially because of how horny he was for it.
Well, that's a story for another day. But
There's a real balance between like wanting the Academy Award and not wanting the Academy Award. It's stupid and strange, and I hate all of it. And
and that's what they
that
kind of
is
play
what
with
this
these
movie is about.
characters. Yeah, and first Catherine O'Hara's like, "Oh, wait, that doesn't matter, right? it's fine. I don't care." And then she gets the plastic surgery, and it's like, "You sold your soul. You sold your soul." And that's the message that
So
I
the
always get.
soul of the devil himself.
Yes, yes, and Harry Shearer. I mean, I guess the best thing that happened out of the characters, Harry Shearer getting new teeth, which I think is probably a good thing. Um, and other than that, because Parker Posey's character ends up what nowhere. What I don't even know where she's at after that movie, but she's distraught, and I guess the ex boyfriend ends up getting the nomination when he just didn't give a shit. The dude was asleep. So whenever you hear those actors being like, "So where were you when you heard about your Oscar nomination?" I was asleep. Those are the kind of actors that are probably humble enough to
You
not really give a
know,
shit.
we're gonna sidetrack here. Do you know how fucking stupid it is that they release the Academy Award nominations? That's like 5:30 in the morning on the West Coast. That's really stupid. I will never.
I know it's the whole
It's
West Coast news feed thing because it's the idea that you want the 6 a.m. people waking up that turn on their TV and coffee as they go to
Brian.
work.
Why would you not want the Oscar nominations to be a primetime special? It's fucking stupid.
I don't know. I don't know if you got enough fucking sponsors and like you know what I mean, like enough.
I I will never
I don't know.
understand. It's the same thing about not releasing the vote totals. Like they should absolutely be releasing the vote
Ooh, that I
totals.
don't. I think you're playing with fire with that one. I think you're playing fire with that one. So
I don't, you're not saying who voted for who. You're just releasing the totals. Like
I
I'm
guess
sorry, but that
I
makes it
you know
more compelling. It makes it a lot more compelling
I
because,
get you, but I don't think certain producers and people in Hollywood want to see the
and I think
actual
that
numbers.
I have very strong opinions against that because
It's the Netflix.
I
It's the Netflix thing. They wanna portray themselves as higher than they are and
this
make
is
everyone else
way
think that the
before
numbers are.
Netflix though. I will never
I know,
understand
I get that,
why
but it's
everything is
I
such a
I
mystery.
understand the concept of hyping it up as a morning thing,
Like
and it's like the morning call. I get that.
I want to know how close it was between One Battle and Sinners. Like I want to see what the vote totals were. Did One Battle win by one vote? Did they win by 100 votes? Like I know that the best pictures on a ranking system.
Oh
So
man, I don't
how
know
did that
because
break
that's good.
down?
See, if I was like PTA or Ryan Coogler, like knowing that might like affect me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like, because I
Athens
think
said the MVP vote.
okay, so remember the Kevin Smith conversation where he heard that he almost got into the best writing for Chasing Amy, and he was like a couple votes off, and he wanted to know. I think he just kind of gave up because it kind of ate at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would eat at these guys to know that truth, man.
I don't.
For us as
I
an
I
audience,
think
I get it.
that's what immature people would do. But I think that I think it would be good for the awards if we knew more and it wasn't just such a secret. I think that's the problem that I have with
Yeah,
it.
not everything is like the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Where they're openly gonna show like the
But I
50
think
votes
that
or
that's
whatever.
part of what that's how you get people interested is doing that stuff.
Oh, I get you, man. And I know it's supposed to be for the people, but you know that certain people in Hollywood just want to maintain
Here's what I'll
certain
say:
things
the
in terms of
nominations
their
being
ego.
released in the morning is really like that is objectively stupid, and I will never understand that specifically is dumb. That that is
I
a
get you,
primetime
man.
special.
But I
That
do
especially.
remember the one moment that it did was like a crazy moment was when Black Panther got the nomination, and I texted you at like 5 or whatever it was, 5:30 my time because I happened to be up, and you're like, "Are you okay? It's so early. Why are you texting me?" And it's like Black Panther, man. I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was the response. I remember that clearly, Oscar morning in 2018 or whatever it was. But yeah, but I get what you're saying. A primetime special would be nice, and if they could treat it like an ESPN would treat it, you know what I'm saying?
I
But
mean, look, YouTube is going to
things
get
are
the
different.
rights. We'll see if anything changes. I doubt it will because nothing ever does in Hollywood. But there it is. All right, that is mockumentary March. Brian, next month is Easter, and we are going to be talking about Jesus. But I am not religious, so we are not going to be coming at it from that angle. But we are going to be looking at some religious movies, and we're going to do I'm conceding to Brian and giving him a little treat by reviewing Mallrats, but
Or do you want to do
we,
Dogma? Because Dogma seems to be the more correct answer. Only Mallrats because it takes place on Easter.
I mean,
So
we're
it's
going to
your
do
choice.
Mallrats because it takes place on Easter. That's why
Okay,
we're
so
doing it.
we'll say more of the Jesus talk later on with Dogma and some other future episode.
At some point we'll do Dogma. But in the month of April, we are going to discuss Mallrats. We are also going to discuss three Jesus movies, three very different Jesus movies: Jesus Christ Superstar, Godspell, and The Last Temptation of Christ. That is what we are going to be
Well,
focusing
I've
on in
seen
the month of April.
The Last Temptation of Christ. I almost watched Godspell because that was like one of those titles that was like you got to see this kind of movie when I was working at Blockbuster. And then Jesus Christ Superstar just makes me think of Don Morocco, right? Is that what it was? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, superstar. Billy Graham is his
we
manager,
we
right?
are going to have quite a conversation about whether Jesus Christ Superstar is the best musical that came out in the year of our Lord 1973.
Okay, because I haven't seen it, but I've sold the Blu-ray for about $20, and it's worth something. So I know that for a fact, and that just I'll always tie it with babyface Don Morocco. once I made that connection, like
it's a
all those
really
years later.
strange thing that he came out to Jesus Christ Superstar. But
Which is, I think
we
it's
will,
because of it was more so Superstar Billy Graham. I bet that's a whole other thing, but because I
yes,
think
and
that's when he was on
we
his
do need to
religious
figure
thing
out
at the time.
the right match. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be
Well,
reviewing
folks,
the.
we'll figure it out, but it's either going to be something related to Easter or it's going to be something related to the mall. So it might be one of the first Nitro or something like that.
Maybe
We
we
may
need to
review
do
this
an
whole thing.
Undertaker Resurrection. I don't know.
Oh shit! You want to do? Oh, Chuck Norris. Hey.
God. Oh my
Oh
God.
boy. What timing, huh? What timing?
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say that. All
Yeah,
right,
it's not a
for
Chuck Norris
Brian.
month, folks, but it might just fit the theme. So
For Brian, I'm Jerome. Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you again soon.